Do you have leftover scrap wood that you don't know what to do with? In this video I'm going to share a really simple project. I'm going to show you how to turn that scrap wood into a coaster. Let's get straight into it. So for this quick and easy project I'm going to be using some scrap wood I've got left over some previous projects. I'm going to be using obel sander, tape measure and also something to mark out with. I've also got the speed square, some gloves, eye protection and a little dust mask. For cutting today I'm going to be using the circular saw. This is the Makita circular saw. And I've also got a Makita jigsaw. We'll try and do some different shapes instead of just squares. So fairly straightforward, quick and easy, minimal tools. Let's get straight into it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is select a piece of scrap wood, make sure it's a fairly clean and tidy piece, so make sure there's no nails in it or anything like that. If there is, just try and clean that up a little bit. So all I'm doing here is placing the cup down, and then I'm just going to mark out somewhere where I think there'll be a reasonable size for the coaster. So the cup ends just there, so I'll leave a little bit of room. We'll just mark that there. Now I've got the speed square. Mark that out. And then we have the first cut for our first coaster. I will also give you the dimensions of this so you can replicate it yourselves. So all I'm going to do real quick is cut the first one out, then I can take some measurements and then copy that and make a couple more. So now I'm going to use the circular saw and cut that first coaster to size. Once I have the first one cut, I'll be able to use that as a measurement and cut a few more. I'm going to probably aim to cut about 4 coasters. So I'm going to aim to cut 4 coasters that are just simple squares, and then I'm going to try 2 others, maybe more of a round shape. I'm going to try and use the jigsaw for that. So let's get this cut and then I can explain what we need to do next. So I'll just pop on some eye protection and then we'll get the first one cut. I'm just going to be using the end of the bench today. I could have got the miter saw out, but I think it's a little bit overkill for this project. You could just use a handsaw for something that's simple. So I'm just going to line that up best I can and we'll go ahead and cut it. First one cut. Now I'll measure this out and then I'm going to cut 3 more. So measurements for the first coaster is around 9 centimetres. Like I say, you can add a little bit more depending on the cup size or anything like that. Depends what you sort of want to use it for. So I'll just show you a little bit closer up, marking out 9 centimetres. Just there. Grabbing the speed square, nice straight line, and then we can use the circular saw to cut number 3. That one went a little bit wonky, but again it's not the end of the world. Then we'll cut out number 4. So there we go, we've got 4 pieces cut out. They're not all perfect, but it's not the look we're going for. We're going for more a little bit rustic. So on to the next steps. So now we've got our first 4 coasters cut. I'm going to cut 2 more, slightly bigger this time. I'm going to go for 10 centimetres. The reason being for this, I'm going to try and use the jigsaw to give it more of a rounded sort of profile. It won't be perfect. I haven't really used jigsaw before as well, so we'll give that a go. So yeah, just going to quickly cut 2 more, but 10 centimeters this time. So there we go, we've got 2 slightly bigger ones. Get into that a little bit later, trying to cut a different shape with the jigsaw, but for now we're going to move on to getting these ready for painting. So the next thing we need to do is get the obel sander, give it a good sand. If you do have different grits of sandpaper, start with something a bit more coarse, then go and fine it to give it a smooth finish. I've only got whatever's on the obel sander today. Like I say, I'm just trying to use minimal tools, but we'll try and get these as smooth as possible, and then we'll look to give them some sort of finish. So now the sander set up, all I'm going to do is go through all our pieces. So I've got 4 at 9 centimeters, and then I've got 2 a little bit bigger. I'm just going to get these ready for what we need to do next. So all I'm going to do is sand all the edges, try and get it as smooth as possible, try and take the sharpness off the corners as well a little bit. So yeah, I'll get to that, I'll speed this a little bit up, and I'll show you after we've completed sanding. So these are the cut pieces before we get into sanding. As you can see, they're not all perfect, but it adds to the character of the coaster. So as you can see, now sanded the 4 coasters, and it really adds some character to them. What I've tried to do is add a chamfer to the edges, just get rid of all the sharp edges and also smooth it out as best as possible. But I think these are coming along really well. Just like I say, I've never done this before. I've literally just switched the camera on and give it a go sort of thing, so it's a really simple project. They're starting to really take shape now with the sanding. All the edges, they're not all perfect, but that doesn't really matter. So they are all very slightly different, but I think it gives them a really cool look. So earlier on, when I cut 2 bigger pieces to try and make more of a rounded coaster, I should have cut these to shape a little bit earlier on, so I'm going to quickly do that now. I'm going to have a go with the jigsaw. I've never used the jigsaw before, so I don't really know how I'm going to do it. Maybe put the cup on, sort of draw around it, and just give it more of a rounded profile. So I'll do that now and get them sanded up. I'll speed that bit up, and then once we've got everything sanded, we'll move on to painting. Right, so now we've got our slightly bigger pieces. I'm going to try and cut these with a rounded edge. So I'm going to place the cup on, and I'm just going to use a Sharpie for this because it'll just mark it a little bit better, and then sort of just go round, like arc the corners. So give that a rough idea. Like I say, it's not going to be perfectly round, but it gives us a idea. And then the same with this one. And if I'm completely honest, I'm just winging it. So we've got them marked out. Now I'm going to have a go with the jigsaw and see if I can get these cut out. Once I've cut them out with the jigsaw, I will sand these ones, and then we'll move on to finishing them off. Quickly set this up. So again, I think I'm just going to have to use the edge of the table. Put the glasses on. And here goes nothing. there we go, got a slightly different shape. Just going to sand this real quick and then we'll move on to the next process. So I was just finishing off the sanding, and this is a quick reminder: if you have glass on the table, remember to move it when you're sanding on the table, because now it's broken. Brilliant. Right, so one smash glass later, we managed to get everything sanded up. So we've got our 4 pieces, our 4 coasters, should I say. Starting to look really good, and they're ready for paint. And then I tried to do more of a rounded approach. As you can see, they're not very round, but I think it's a cool sort of design, and it's something a little bit different. It's time to finish off the coasters. So I'm just going to use some wood stain. I used this in a previous video on the coffee table build. Feel free to check that out as well. Try and put it somewhere on the screen here. So yeah, let's get these painted. So I'm really happy with how the coasters turned out. It's a very beginner friendly project. It's definitely one I recommend to all. It's a fun but quick project. So finally, I'd like to say thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to subscribe and like, and also comment any of your scrap wood ideas. And finally, thank you all for watching the video and staying till the end, and I hope to see you all in the next one.